Welcome to For the Love of Art with me, Angela Peardon. Today we're going to be painting a poppy in watercolor. The colors that we're going to be using are I'm going to do a mixture of raw umber, red light, and scarlet lake to make these two colors. Olive green, sap green to make these three colors. And then we'll have yellow ochre, we'll have vermilion, these two, and then Van Dyke brown. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn this just a little bit. And there we go. I'm going to zoom it in. Okay. Sure that y'all can see good. I'm going to go ahead and use my 10/0 script liner brush. I'm going to go ahead and lay down only water. We'll start right here. This is a beginner's tutorial. I'm working on Fabriano Artistico hot pressed watercolor paper. It's 100% cotton. Go all the way up to the edges. There will be a traceable for this on my Facebook group. Now we went into the Scarlet Lake mixture. We're going to go ahead and place some Scarlet Lake right along the edge here. Okay, pick up a little more. Go ahead and dab that in. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more. Go along this edge one more time to deepen up that value right there. Alright. I'll rinse my brush. We'll start on this bottom right leaf. Same thing. I'll lay down some water. I'm going to take up a little bit of that water. You don't want it to be puddled on your paper. You just want a nice sheen to it. Like a nice water reflection. There we go. We'll go into the Scarlet Lake mixture and do the same thing. We'll drop it along that edge. And grab some more here. I'm going to tap it in. Okay. Now I'll get a bit darker, tap that in along this edge. Now I'll go over here, that's not 100% dry yet, and I'll just bring in just a little bit. I'm going Just pulling it in. There we go. I'm going to rinse my brush. Now I'll go ahead and with just water. Not too much water, I don't want to bloom it. Kind of drop that in. You want to keep your brush strokes in the direction of the veins of the flower. I'm going to drop in a little bit more. Okay, now I'll get just water and go from the bottom here inward. And puts a little bit of texture into that petal. Alright, now I'm going to leave that. Go in with the darker and come over here. Drop that in. Now we'll go in, we'll paint it in the direction of the petal growth, the veins of the flower. There we go. Now we'll take some water and go ahead and tap in a little bit here. Okay, now we will go to this tiny little section right here where I'm going to use my script brush. Just put some water on my script brush. I'm going to turn this so that my hand doesn't get into the wet paint. There we go. I'm going to lay down just some water. And this is a section where the flower is going to be kind of folding over. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to go into some of the lighter value of the vermilion red. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in. Okay, so I'm going to wipe my brush off, pinch it off to a point, and I'm going to soak up a little bit of that. So it doesn't lay too dark. It's going to dry lighter. There we go. Now we'll go in with the light value of the vermilion again. And there we go. That's already light enough because it was still quite wet. And we'll go down the center line. And there we go. Now I'm going to go in with my number 4 round brush. Just pick up some water. I'll go ahead and turn this now. I'm going to start up here. Put a good amount of water on there. Keep this circle down here dry. If you do get it wet, just dab it up with some paper towel. Okay, now we're going to go into this little bitty section right here, which I'm going to get my smaller brush for. There we go. Grab the bigger brush, spread some more of that water out. Want it nice and wet, give it time to soak into the paper. Go all the way up to that line. There we go. Now we'll go into the vermilion red. And go ahead and drop it in. Okay, I'm going to turn my page a little. There we go. And right up against that line. Okay, grab some more. Go ahead and tap it in. We'll darken up areas here in just a little bit. There we go. Go all the way up to there. Go ahead and pull it all the way up to the edge. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to turn it back. Let that soak into the paper a little bit. I'm going to take my liner brush, go into the Scarlet Lake mixture. I'll go ahead and bring this down to about right there. I'll go ahead and go all the way up to where this petal's kind of turned over. And there we go. Now I'll take my 10/0 script liner and I'll go into the Cad Red, or the Scarlet Lake mixture. I'm going to tap in some darker value here. Just kind of tap it in. It gets a little darker over here, and it's a little darker down here, and then it's dark in here. And it gets a little lighter in this section, so we'll leave that. Alright, now we'll move to this bottom section right here. Okay, now we will go into the into some water. And there we go, all the way up to this line. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit of that because it puddled up just a little bit. There we go. Now we'll go into the Scarlet Lake mixture. We're going to drop it in here at the bottom. Yeah, it's still puddled quite a bit, so I'm going to take my pointed oval wash and soak up a little bit of that paint. There. I'll rinse my brush. Now we'll go back into the Scarlet Lake mixture. And there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to pull some lines, pulling the paint towards the bottom of the flower. Okay, now we'll let that dry. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a little bit that came off onto the other flower. So this is I call it my scrubber brush, but it is a flat brush. And I'm going to go ahead and just extremely damp brush. Pick that up right there. Okay. Now we're going to be working on this section. I'm going to go ahead and dry all of this so we can start on the outer section. Now we're going to go ahead into, I'm going to fix this just a little bit. This is not to my liking, so I'm going to go ahead and add some water. Just go right over top of what we done. Now that it's dry, I'm going to blend that because I want it lighter up against this flower. There we go. I'm going to gently go over all this with water one more time and let it bloom out. Okay. Now we'll go in with the Scarlet Lake mixture, and I'm going to go ahead and tap it in like we did before. I didn't like the polka dot looking pieces. Okay, I'm going to wipe the excess off my brush. And then I'm going to pull top to bottom in the direction of the growth of the flower veins. There. Now I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to go ahead and dry this so we can work on the next section. Okay, so now we'll work on this next section, and we're going to do it in smaller sections. Go ahead and grab some water. Not too much. Go ahead and lay it in right up against the other colors. If they blend in, that's okay. But now that the painting's dry, it shouldn't blend in too much. Okay. Now we will go into the Cad Red. Let me add a little bit more of that. This is a pipette. You can purchase them on Amazon in a bulk for a good price, and I love that for my watercolors. Okay. Now I'm just going to tap in along this edge. And there we go. I'm going to take off my excess. And I'm just going to go ahead and tap that in. Go right up against where the petals connect, so they flow together nicely. Okay, now we're going to get the liner brush. We'll go into the Scarlet Lake mixture. I'm going to tap it in. Well, let me wet it just a little bit. I dried a little too quickly under my lights. So I'm going to throw in some more water. And there we go. Try and make your lines in the direction of the growth if you can. The vein growth of the flower. Go ahead and tap that red along the edge right here. Perfect, there we go. Now this is a little darker in here, so I'm just going to kind of tap it in and get some water. This is the most tedious, this side and that side's the most tedious parts. I dropped quite a bit of water right there. There we go. Go ahead and blend that line in. We can go all the way to where I got outside of the line, which is fine. Alright, and pull that down. Alright, now we don't want to touch that anymore. Now we'll move to the next section. We'll make bigger sections here soon. Go into the script liner, a little bit bigger brush. I'm going to turn this so you can see and I can see. A little bit more water. Okay. Now that whole section's filled in with water, We'll go in with the vermilion, and we'll drop it in right along the top edge. There we go. I'm going to wipe my brush excess off and kind of blend that in towards the flower. Okay. Now I'll go in with a red on my script brush, this smaller one, and I'm going to drop some in right along this edge in a few little places. Bring that up, bring up just a little bit, and there we go. Just paint it kind of up. There we go. Put in a little bit of veins to the flowers. Now I'll take my script brush, a larger one, take all the water off of it, and kind of push that back into the painting. Make sure these lines connect good. There we go. Now we'll go to the next section. Alright. I'll take the water off the ferrule. The ferrule is this little section of your paintbrush. If it's on the ferrule, bubbled up, it can drop on your painting. Okay. Pull that all the way to this section. Okay, now we'll go in with the vermilion. Go ahead and drop it along the top edge. I may soak up a little bit of this. There's a little bit too much water. Alright, now we'll go in and drop along the edge. I'll take a little more. Gonna go ahead and pull it down right here. Now go ahead and put a little bit darker there. Okay, now we'll kind of tap it in and pull it from the bottom up. Okay, now we'll go in with the red. With this smaller script brush. And we're going to go ahead and tap that red in along the top. I'm going to pull it down the side here. Go ahead and tap a little bit in, or pull a little bit in, middle lines. We'll take the larger script brush and we're going to push that back again. Make sure there's not any water, just very damp brush. Just just kind of tap it into the painting. And pull down to create those little lines. That's already dry, but that's okay. Now we'll go to the next section. Well, hold on. Fix that a little. I'm going to make this line a little thinner. Okay. Now we'll move to the next section. Let's put in water. If you cross over into this, it's okay. It'll bleed into it, which is fine. You can do the whole section at once if you want. My lights dry my water on my paper very quickly. That's why I'm doing it in sections. Now we'll go into the vermilion. I'm going to go ahead and put that right at the top of that line. And pull it down right here. Now I'll pull some up from the bottom. Okay. Now I'll go in with a smaller script liner into the Scarlet Lake. I'll go ahead and along this top line, not in every section, just some. Pull that down. I'll go down right here. Pull that down, and then I'm going to kind of put a few little veins in. Not too much though. Take my smaller script liner, push those veins up. I had water on it. I should have wiped it first. Alright. Now we'll push these veins back in. I'll fix that. Okay. Grab the Scarlet Lake mixture again. Kind of just drop in maybe like 3. Make sure my brush is dry, well damp, no excess water. Kind of pull those. There we go. Alright, now we'll go to the next side. Grab some water. And make sure you touch this outer line. Okay. Now we will go in with the vermilion. We'll drop it in. Okay, dab some in from the bottom up, about right there. Okay, Now we'll go in with a script liner, the small one, into the Scarlet Lake mixture, and we'll drop in that red right along that edge. Now pull in a little bit of veining. Okay. I'm going to tap in a little bit in here. Wet my brush. I'm going to blend that out a little better. Okay, I'm going to dry off my script brush, a bigger one, tap that in. Go ahead and dry a little bit of this up. There we go. Now I'm going to take my Scarlet Lake and I'm going to fill that in, that little gap right there. There we go. Now we'll start on the center. So let's see. We're going to use a burnt umber with a smaller script brush. And we're going to go ahead and very lightly flick out some little stamens. And turn that a little bit. They can go straight, sideways, overlap. Okay, and turn this about like that. Okay. Now you can make them a little longer. Okay. Now we'll go into the yellow ochre. We'll put little tiny dots in the center here. Just kind of if they clump together, that's all right. Once that dries, we'll go in with a little bit of brown. Now we'll start on this this flower next. I'm going to go ahead and dry all this. Okay, before we go to the next flower, I'm going to pull this out a little longer. These little, I think they're called stamens. I'm not sure what they're called. Go ahead and you can crisscross them. Kind of pull them out longer. And where it meets up here along the edge, you can kind of tap it in darker. And there we go. And I'll tap this in a little darker in here. Kind of put that little half moon back in. And now we'll tap in a little bit here in the center. There we go. Much better. Okay, now we'll start on this one. Let me dry this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the large round brush. Let's see, I'm going to go in with some water. I'm going to go ahead and fill this whole little section in. Pull a little bit off my brush and soak a little bit of that up. Well, a lot of that up. Make sure that there's no dry spots. Okay, now we'll go in with the Scarlet Lake mixture. We're going to drop it in at the bottom. I just see my line okay. I'll go ahead and get some more water on my brush. And go ahead and drop some in because it's not quite moving. Sucked a little too much up. Go right into that little bitty corner. Okay. Now we'll get in some more of the Scarlet Lake mixture and just drop it in. Let it just bloom out. Okay. Now there's a little section up here where we'll put the Scarlet Lake. It's a little shadow. We'll go ahead and drop that in while the other dries. Grab some Scarlet Lake. Putting it on a little thick because it's going to blend in to that background when we get to it. Not the background, the top half of the flower. going to go ahead and dry this so we can work on the next section. Okay, now we'll go into this section. I'll go ahead and with a larger round brush, grab some water, and turn this, let's see which way. Yeah, I'll turn it this way so you can see better. It's okay if you touch the red. If it bleeds in, that is fine. And it won't hurt anything. Grab a little more water. All the way up to the tip of this. Okay, I'm going to take up just a titch of that. Last time I took up a little too much. Okay. Now go in with my larger script. Go into the Scarlet Lake mixture. Go ahead and start dropping it in right along the, we'll go right along the outer line here to about right there. Go ahead and tap it in. This time we'll go from the top inwards. Grab a little bit more. Okay. Let me grab a little bit of water. Kind of put it, yep, right up to where that wet paint is. Alright, now I'm going to grab some more water. I guess I could have done this in smaller sections. So it keeps following the water line. There we go. Now let's see. Go all the way up to about right there with it. A little bit more Scarlet Lake. Tap that in. Alright. Now I'm going to add more water from the top down. Going with some clean water. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Now we'll go in with, get all the way to the tip right here with water. Alright, now we'll go in with a vermilion. We're going to go ahead and touch that from the top down and along this edge. And can pull it out. Grab the lighter value of vermilion. Drop in a little bit. There we go. Okay. I'm going to grab a little bit more of the Scarlet Lake. Actually, I'll do the tiny bit lighter value that needs more water. There we go. Kind of just tap it in where the two colors meet. There we go. Now we'll go in the darker with the liner brush, the darker Scarlet Lake mixture. Okay, we're going to tap this in right up top again. I'm going to pull that little piece down, pull this little piece down, pull this along the edge. Okay, and go in with my larger script brush. Tap a little bit of that. Alright, we'll leave that be. Now we'll go to the next side. Let's see. Let me add a little bit of lines in there with the scarlet. There we go. It's a little bit deeper lines. There's a few here. Grab a little more. Kind of just pull them up. Okay. Now we'll take a little bit of this out to make the line a little smaller. There we go, more defined. Alright, now we'll work on this side. Let me go ahead and turn this to about right there. I'm going to go ahead and blow dry this so I don't smear it. Okay, so I'm going to blend this just a little better than what it is. I'm going to take my flat brush. I'm going to turn to painting. Actually, I'm going to have to turn it the other way so I don't pull it the wrong way. Go ahead and turn it like that. There we go. Now I'm going to just scumble this out just a little bit. Just, well, not even scumble, just kind of tap it out. Make sure it's a little tiny bit more than damp. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water on that edge. Kind of pull it with the water. Those two need to meet right there. And there we go. Grab a little bit more of the scarlet. Okay, that's a lot better. Now we'll go to the other side. Go in with some water. I have to turn that. Because I don't want to get that area wet. So I'm going to come about right here and pull water down. About where this line meets right here. Well, not meets, but imagine this line continuing around. Pull it all the way down to the bottom. And pull a little bit of that up. And make sure there's no dry spots. Okay, go into the Scarlet Lake. I'm going to go ahead and tap this in right along that edge. I'll leave that be. Now we'll work from the top down. And go on this side of the loop, the right side. Make sure you leave this loopy thing right here dry. And those bleed into one another, which is fine. Okay, take a little bit of that off. Okay, now we will go into the vermilion red. And we are going to tap that along the top here. I'm going to pull some off of my brush, and we're going to go ahead and pull it down. Okay, now we'll go into the lighter value of the vermilion, and we're going to tap a little bit in there. And then go ahead and pull that down to meet this. Okay, now we'll go into the Red Lake mixture, the Scarlet Lake. I'm going to go ahead and tap it at the top here, like small little lines. And then I'm going to come down this line right here, go along this edge, and connect. Okay, let's see. We'll bring a few lines up to connect them. And that's good. I'm going to add in a few more lines over here now that it's almost dry. Perfect. Alright. Now we'll work on this little section. So we're going to take the large round And we'll go from this corner right here all the way to right there. Let's see. About like that, yeah. Actually, it goes all the way up to this, I think. Yeah. There, much better. Sorry. So go all the way up to the red line, all the way to this little corner. That'll be good. Okay, now we're gonna take the larger script liner, go in with a vermilion. We're gonna tap it in right along that top line. Go right up against that red. Okay, and pull it down in the direction that the veins would grow. Okay, there we go. Now we'll go in with the vermilion. I'm gonna, let's see. And tap it in along this edge and along this edge. I dropped a little much, but that's all right. Let's kind of blend that out. Okay, now we'll go with this little tiny little piece right here. I'm going to go in with my medium size script brush. And fill that in with water. And there we go. Go into the, with a small script brush, go into the vermilion mixture. Kind of tap it in up top. Go ahead and blend it down. Go ahead and pick up a little bit of that water. Now I'm going to go ahead into the vermilion. Kind of tap it right along the top here and pull it down. Then I'm going to go ahead and there we go. we'll leave that be, and now we'll work on the upper half. So I will use my larger brush, grab some water, go ahead and paint in the water all the way up to the petal below. Okay, we're going to go right in here, right up to this, and it'll blend right into that petal. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to go in with a medium script brush, and we're going to go ahead and drop that along the edge, or paint that along the edge. There we go. I'm going to tap some in here in the center. I'm going to pull it down in the direction of the growth of the veins. Get a bit of lighter vermilion, the lighter value, and drop some in. Okay. And do the same thing on this side. Drop in just a little bit. Make sure that edge is still wet. And so now we're going to have to drop in the red. I'm going with the Scarlet Lake. Okay, we're going to pull some of these lines down that we put in. Okay, that dried a little bit, but it's okay. I'm going to go in with some water with the make sure this is damp, and I'm going to pull that down. Go ahead and pull that down in the direction of the growth. Blend that little line in. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the liner, the smaller liner. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in here. Go ahead and drop that. Let's see. I'm going to push this back just a little bit. Now I'm going to dry this, but I'm not going to fully dry it, so I can bring in some of the lines. Okay, so I did not fully dry it, just a little bit. Going with the Scarlet Lake. And I'm going to go ahead and pull in just a little bit. And then, let's see. Okay. Now I'll take a little bit bigger script liner, and I'm going to push that back just a little bit with a damp brush. I want it to kind of blend into the painting. There we go. A little bit more. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to start on the little flower bud. I'm going to use my clean water for all of this, because red and green will make mud and make brown. Because they are opposite on the color wheel. Okay. Let's go ahead and fill this in. Really should move those jars so I don't accidentally dip into my warmer toned jar. Okay. Now we'll go in with the medium script. I'm going to go in with the lightest value of my green mixture that we made. Okay, now I'll go into the medium. Right up against that line. Okay, now we'll go into the darker tone. Go ahead and drop that in. Right here at the bottom as well. I'm going to take my round brush. I'm going to bring that to a point, soak up a little bit. I'm going to take my liner brush into my darkest value of the green. All the way to the tip of this. I'll drop in a little bit more. Right in here at the bottom as well. Okay. Now we'll go with the medium value. going to go ahead and pull some lines up in the direction of the growth of the veins. And there we go. Now going with the darkest value. I'm going to start here at the bottom, and I'm just going to pull some up with a very light hand. And there we go. It's a little wonky because I want to have the lines on this side, so it's not a perfect little oval with a point, but that's okay. In nature, it's not perfect. Alright, now we're going to do all the stems. This stem I'm going to have to do at an angle. The other ones I can do, well, yeah, let me go ahead and do the other ones first. So I'm going to take my medium brush. I'm going to go in with the lightest value of the green. I'm going to do one section at a time so my line does not dry out. Okay, going with a script brush. All the light is coming from this direction, so it's going to be darker on the right side and lighter on the left side. Go ahead and paint in the darker value of the green. Okay. Going with a lighter value of the green. We're going to continue this down. Now we'll go into the darker green. Okay. Go into the lighter value. And try and go all the way to the bottom. Yes, it's best to do the flowers first before doing the bud stem. That way the bud stem goes behind the other two flowers. So okay. I kind of blended in a little too much, so I'm going to pull a little bit of this up on this side. Now put down some more of the darker. I pulled that up with just a damp brush. And there we go. Now we'll do the second flower stem. And go into the lighter value. It's okay if it gets into the red a little bit. We're going to be putting in the base to that flower. go in with the green. And there we go. And go ahead and pull this down. And there we go. And now we're going to go into the darker green. Go ahead and pull that in. Oh, it went a little, dried up a little bit. That's okay. Go into the lighter green. All the way down to the bottom. Okay, now we'll go grab some darker green. Go ahead and drop that in. Now we'll do this one. I'm going to turn my painting. I'll turn it about right here. Okay. And go on with the lighter green. Grab a little bit more. Okay. I'll wipe that off. I picked up just a titch. Alright, now we're going with a darker value green. But dried up a little bit. That's okay, and I'll fix that here in just a second. Go all the way down to the stem. Okay, now we'll go into the darker green. And you want to tap in a little bit of dark green right here where it goes behind. I'm going to take this, I'm going to just blend that out just a little better. Okay, now we'll work down here, go into the lighter green. Okay, now go into the darker green. And then tap it in right here where they meet. And then I'll lift up a little bit of it right here. Okay. I'm going to pull this down a little bit so it don't go up too high. There we go. Now going with the lighter green. Okay. Oh, drop my brush. Now go in with the darker green. Right along this edge. There we go. If it goes a little too far over, you can always pull a little bit up on one side. There we go. Now we're going to work on the little bits right there. Okay. I'm going to go in with a lighter green first, and I'm just going to use my small script liner because my other one fell. I'm just going to put in a little bit right here. I'll go with a lighter green again. And I'll put in just a titch right here. And then same on the other one. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and dry this. So I can paint in the darker. Okay, now we'll go in with a little bit darker. I'm just going to tap it in or paint it in right here. Kind of just at the edges there. I'm going to go ahead and blend that out. I picked up my other brush while I was blow drying. Oh, there we go. Now we'll sign it. Script brush. I'll go in with black. Put a little drop of water in here. Kind of like roll it to a point. I'm going to turn this so I can sign it. There we go. To a sharper point. There we go. And then I'll put there we go. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This is I believe it's like a the measurements of this is, I believe it's like a 5" by 8" something, or 6 by 8, something like that. Once I get 20 subscribers on my YouTube channel, I will be doing a giveaway, and this will be the giveaway. So if you'd like to go over to my YouTube channel and watch this tutorial, like, comment, and subscribe on it, that would be great. Thank you so much for painting with me today, and y'all have a blessed day. Thank you. See you next time.